Clay, you're an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. And as they say in Stoic, the obstacle is the way. And so if you let these pinheads get in your way, you're in trouble. Acta non verba is the motto of the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy at Kings Point, New York. I had appointments to Naval Academy and Kings Point Merchant Marine Academy. And Merchant Marine Academy's motto was acta non verba. In other words, don't listen to what a person says. Watch what they do. Clay, my honor to be on your show. And thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learn from you. So congratulations.
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas and soon to be Arkansas. We have probably grown probably 5 times. We've added, I think when we first started with you, we had 60 to 65 employees. And now we have a little over 300 employees. Before we got involved with Thrive Time, we didn't really have any systems or processes in place. I've probably been to, in 6-7 years, I've probably been to 12 to 13 business conferences. And amazingly, each time I go, I learn something new, and I'm so excited to bring it back and show the team about marketing and how to implement, how to help you guys implement the SEO. And the coaching is just great because there's accountability, and it's just a fantastic way to grow your company. Having a relationship with Thrive Time it's just been amazing for MultiClean. Oh my goodness, it frees me up because then I don't have to take a class on search engine optimization or learn marketing or shoot video. That's not what we do. What we do is commercial janitorial service. And you guys are the experts on marketing, and you teach me and hold my hand and show me how to do it right. And therefore, now my company is much, much larger.
Folks, on today's show, we're joined by a real client. He may look like a male model. He may look like a hologram, but he's a real person. He's a longtime client. He's a man that we consider to be a friend of the Thrive Time Show and a friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Kevin. Welcome onto the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
Clay, I'm doing great. Had a great Christmas holiday, and I'm glad to be here.
Okay, so first question, can you tell us what is your name, first and last name, and what's the name of your company, sir?
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas and soon to be Arkansas.
And how long have we worked with you approximately at this point, sir?
It's been about 6
at 3 a.m. That's when I start my grind in. And I got no time for stumbling and chit chat talk with the faking friends. I'm on my grind, yeah. I'm on my grind. You need to drive, I'm on my grind.
And we want to welcome all of His Glory Nation from east to west to north to south. Welcome to today's Kingdom Business Builder with America's Coach Clay Clark. And here he is, Clay. How are you today?
Greetings, Super Dave. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very good.
Hey, I want to bring this up for anybody out there who's just tuning in. And because, the reason why we come together and we put this information out once a week is I get it. Dave, you get it. I get it. We are living in a world of perpetual distraction. We are dealing with perpetual attacks from the enemy. We are dealing with, when I say the enemy, I mean satanic attacks. I mean, we live in a world where we're not battling just flesh and blood. I mean, it's spiritual warfare. We're living in a world where the president of these United States, President Donald J. Trump, he's speaking, in front of to all the world's leaders. And Dave, I don't know what he's going to say or what he did say, but I'm sure he's speaking to a bunch of globalists, and I'm sure it will be an America First message. And Dave, if we're not careful, that's where we put our focus and all of our energy, and then we end up neglecting things like our faith, our family, our finances, our fitness, our friendship, and our fun. And so what I want to do on today's show is really get into this topic called no drifting. And Dave, you and I have read a lot of the same books, and you've risen to the tops of corporate America before you started His Glory. I want to get your thoughts on this drifting. how dangerous is drifting? So let's do an example, Dave. Let's say that you and I commit we're going to go to church every Sunday. And then, we skip this Sunday because this came up. We skip next Sunday because that came up. Next thing you know, we're not going to church. It's like we say we're going to take our wives on a date, and we say we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're committing to it. But then we skip a week. Next thing you know, we're not taking our wife on a date. But Dave, what if you could be strapped to Zig Ziglar? Like, what if Zig Ziglar at his prime, by the way, what if you were stuck with Zig Ziglar? What if you went to a Zig Ziglar conference? What if you went to a Tony Robbins conference? What if you went to your favorite church? What if you went to some self-help thing and all of a sudden that speaker that inspired you followed you around and made you stay on the path? That's what we're talking about on today's show. So, Dave, I want to get your thoughts out there. When you had this vision to start His Glory, what were some of the initial distractions that could have pulled you off of the path and kept you from focusing on the main thing, which was building His glory?
Everything under the sun came against us because Satan did not want His glory ministry to start. So we had, legal battles with the IRS, not allowing us to become a 501c3 to start with. That was under Lois Lerner. We had countless attacks to get the legal rights to His glory. We had countless attacks just getting up on platforms. But like you said, if we drifted and we just gave up and said, it's too hard, we can't do it. No, the Lord was with me the whole way, persevering and opening up doors that I couldn't even imagine. But the key was staying in and leaning into Him and not quitting.
Now, folks, if you're watching today's show, I encourage you to take notes because this just in. Taking notes is better than not taking notes, okay? The pen is for remembering. The mind is for thinking. So I'm going to pull up this clip here. This is a couple right here. Great people. They have a pest control company. And you might say, pest control, that's not a new thing. That's not an innovative thing. That's not a breaking news, new idea. No, this is a pest control company. And Dave, we helped this couple triple the size of their business very quickly by just refusing to allow them to drift and by focusing on the main things that will produce revenue. Here we go. Here's their story. Jared and Jennifer Johnson.
So it's April 2019 and the month isn't even over yet, but we've already surpassed our greatest sales month in revenue in the history of ever.
Yeah. So we got our biggest month ever. Boom. Bang the gong. Now you gotta go do a lap. You gotta go do a lap.
Now, Dave, that's our office right there. That's my office. And this couple, they happen to come to Tulsa, and I'm going, oh, you guys got to bang the gong. You got to bang the gong. Because that's what we do at our office when great things happen. That was obviously recorded in 2019, Dave, before you and I met. But I've been doing the same thing for 20 years, and it never gets old to me helping somebody achieve their goals. I've been doing the same thing for 20 years. But these guys, they had a pest control company, and they got fired up to achieve success, but we refuse to allow them to drift, and they've been very thankful. They've been a client for, I think, 8 years now. So let's get into our 5 principles I want to teach on today's show. So principle number 1, this comes at you from Napoleon Hill. By the way, Napoleon Hill wrote Think and Grow Rich, and if you're reading that book, Think and Grow Rich, and if Napoleon Hill ever says anything that goes against the Bible, go with the Bible, all right? But Think and Grow Rich is a great self-help book, and in that book, Napoleon Hill writes, he says, drifting without aim or purpose is the first cause of failure. Drifting without aim or purpose is the first cause of failure. So what we did with the Johnsons, and I'm encouraging everybody to do this exercise with me. Write down your goals for your faith, your family, your finances, your fitness, your friendship, and your fun. Write them down. Faith, family, finance, fitness, friendship, fun. And don't stop writing until you're excited to wake up in the morning and you find it hard to go to bed at night. That's when you have goals that will awaken your soul. But until that point, you are drifting. So you say, how do I know that I have big goals? Dave, I know old people, young people, middle-aged people, men, women who are excited. Dave, I actually interviewed the founder of Hobby Lobby. I believe you'll be interviewing the founder of Hobby Lobby here soon. This guy is in his 70s, I guess actually 80s, and he is fired up every day to share the gospel. So you don't have your goals. You don't really have goals until they awaken your soul. Dave, I want to get your thoughts on this. His glory, I mean, I know there's a lot of work. I know you got to deal with microphones and air conditioning units and sponsors and all that stuff. But you are fired up more than ever to reach the nations, to share the gospel as we see these perilous events that the Bible said would happen unfolding. Why is it that you're fired up every day, Dave?
because I have probably the greatest mission on the face of the earth, to be able to be called by God for such a time as this, to help reach and get 1 billion souls. There's nothing better than that.
Folks, okay, so once you lock on, you have your goals written down. Step number 2, this is so important. Step number 2, every adversity, this is Napoleon Hill, every adversity brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage. What? Folks, listen to this. Every adversity brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage. So let me tell you something. When I met Dave, folks, when Dave met me, something happened. He made some poor life choices. Next thing you know, we're talking to each other. All I know is we're doing this Reawaken event, the first one. We're going to do the first one in Tulsa. And man, we ran into adversity. Man, we had opposition. Man, we had local city officials, health officials not wanting us to host the event because we would not require masks. I had local pastors not wanting me to host the event because we wouldn't push the mask mandates and the lockdowns. We had speakers that told me, Clay, if you host this event, I'm not going to show up if that guy's on the stage. I had people telling me, you can't mass baptize people at an event. You can't do a candle lighting event. You're not a pastor. How are you going to? There's so much adversity behind the scenes, things people saw on camera, but each adversity created, and this is, I sincerely believe this, you gain strength through struggle. Yep. And I learned a lot of things. So I thought, you know what? General Flynn says to me, we hadn't even wrapped up the first one. Clay, we got to do one more. And I'm going, all right, well, first off, yes, sir. But the second is, the second one will be a lot easier than the first because there's things I now know about doing this particular kind of event. I've been doing conferences for 20 plus years, but this kind of event, I now understand the dynamics. I understand there's certain denominations that don't get along in the Christian faith. It's sad to say, but they don't. I get it now. I understand that there are certain people that don't want to be on the stage with pastors called politicians. Certain people that don't want to be on. We learn those things. And Dave, I started to learn, okay, wow, certain speakers, don't have them on stage again. Certain speakers, have them on stage more. Certain people, wow, they really don't understand time and space. And when I give them 15 minutes to speak, they think they have 45. I probably need to over-clarify that idea. But you learn things. But again, I don't view it as discouragement. I view it as a way to learn faster. So whenever every adversity brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage. So if you're watching today's show before we head into the break, I encourage you, if you're saying, what, I want to become super successful, Clay, you're saying, I want to do it. I want somebody to push me. I want to grow. I want to get unstuck. I want you to go to thrivetimeshow.com. We have the upcoming business workshop featuring Eric Trump, September 25 and 26. We have 2 tickets left, so I'm not sure if we'll have any available. That's thrivetimeshow.com. Also, we have Anaheim, California coming up here December 4th and 5th. Anaheim, California, December 4th and 5th. And if you use promo code His Glory, you have a chance to win a backstage pass. You get to meet Pastor Dave. You get to meet Eric Trump. You get to meet Colton Dixon, Dr. Stella Emanuel. Get those tickets right there at thrivetimeshow.com. That's thrivetimeshow.com. And we'll tell you more about the upcoming event when we get back after the break.
What if I told you that cancer, acne rosacea, multiple sclerosis, and rheumatoid arthritis, what if they can all be treated with parasite medication?
Get yours now at www.purgestore.com/hisglory.
Your money is vanishing faster than ever before, and no one is coming to save it. But you can protect your savings starting right now, completely tax and penalty free. Goldco has helped protect billions in retirement savings with real gold and silver. At His Glory, we trust them, and today we want to send you a free gold and silver protection kit. Act now and you'll receive up to 10% in free silver. And if you have $25,000 or more in an IRA savings, Goldco will also send you a free Ronald Reagan silver coin. Supplies are limited. Scan the QR code or click the link to get your free kit today. Goldco will protect what God has entrusted to you. If you have a prayer request, would you like us to share your prayer request? His Glory has a dedicated team ready to lift up your needs. It's easy to submit your request and confidential. hisglory.me/ask for prayers. We believe in the power of prayer. Billion Soul donation. Become a Billion Soul partner. By giving $30 or more monthly and support our mission to reach 1 billion souls for Christ. And a thank you, you'll get receive a copy of my book, All for His Glory, and also enter to a chance to win a once-in-a-lifetime trip to either the Footprints of Paul, which is our trip to Greece next year, or our trip back to Israel. So we're going to be having 2 big trips next year, taking a group back to Israel, and the first time ever, the Apostle Paul Footprints in Greece. It's going to be a magnificent trip. And we are back with Clay Clark. Clay.
Yeah, no, Dave, I want to talk to your listeners out there for a second. I'm going to pull this up on the screen so they can see it. For everybody who goes to the Thrive Time Show podcast, and you go there and you'll see there's a success story we just put out 4 hours ago with a local chiropractor, with a used car dealership, with an audio visual lighting company in Los Angeles, with a carpet cleaning business, with the pest control business. You just saw that. With a dry cleaning service, with a healthcare business, with a ministry, with a mortgage business, with a plumbing. You say, what do all these businesses have in common? UPS Canada, by the way, UPS Canada. A lot of people don't know that. Done a lot of work with UPS Canada. But there's optometrists, auto lift repair, plumbing services, air conditioning. What do they have in common? Dave, there's something important about reading the self-help book. There's something important about coming to the conference. And then, Dave, there's something about accountability. I want to talk to you about accountability for a second. Dave, when you have accountability in your life, you can really get stuff done faster. You can get stuff done faster. Excuses get out of the way. You begin to turn excuses into actual results. And so I want to read another best-selling author, a notable quotable here. This comes from Napoleon Hill. He says, most real failures are due to the limitations which men set up in their own minds. Most real failures are due to limitations which men set up in their minds. And Dave, one of my clients, OxyFresh, they have 500 locations now. And I'll never forget when I talked to Jonathan early on, there wasn't 500 locations. Right now there's 500 locations. And I see so many people, Dave, that will come into my life, especially I've been doing this 20 years, and they'll say, I've got this idea for a plumbing service, and I hope I could just pay the bills. That's my big goal, is to pay the bills. And I go, whoa. You've got the law of the lid working against you, my friend. They said, what do you mean? I said, you've got these limitations, these self-imposed limitations. And for reasons that I can't understand, it appears as though you hate success. And I go, what? I mean, you're having goals that are, we could probably achieve those in 30 days. Let's aim for something big. Let's go do that. And I think that's the power of having a coach in your life if you're an athlete. Robert Kiyosaki, the best-selling author, he has said on multiple occasions, professionals have a coach and amateurs do not. Dave, I just find that a lot of people, when they get an idea, they get inspired, they get fired up from a conference, and they go home and it's time to implement, and they start to drift when they run into that first encounter with somebody who's not as motivated, or bureaucracy, or somebody that doesn't want to get things done at the speed you do. Dave, what happens? What happens when people get fired up and then they don't have somebody pushing them or some sort of accountability? What happens?
Well, as Jim Rohn used to say, you're cooked in the squat, or actually it was Zig Ziglar. You're cooked in the squat. You got the idea to rise, but you're cooked before you could rise.
A notable quotable from Napoleon Hill, I'm going to read this to you here. This says, the drifter never accomplishes anything requiring thought and effort. He accepts whatever life hands him without protest and without demanding that what he wants in life. Let me try that again. The drifter never accomplishes anything requiring thought and effort. He accepts whatever life hands him without protest and without demanding what he wants in life. So let me just give you an example. Eric Trump, this just in, will be speaking at our conference. And I want you, the listener, if you're watching this, I want you to hear things. I want Eric Trump to share with you things you've never heard before. And I want you, if you're watching today's show, I want you to meet Pastor Dave. Dave, I want everyone to meet you. I want everyone to meet Julie Green. I want that to happen. And what I keep being told by various people, they'll say, well, we don't have time for that. I mean, I probably hear that I'm not kidding, probably every 60 minutes. We don't have time for that. We don't have, I'm like, what? We don't have time with, Clay, that agenda is packed. And I've sent that to you, Dave. It's a packed agenda. People say, Clay, Eric doesn't have time to meet Pastor Dave and to meet Julie and to meet your mom and then to meet, the VIP guy and then to also do an interview with the Epoch Times. I'm going, no. We'll get it done. But I have to push back with love and encouragement, but I do have to push back. I have to push back. I get told a lot, you can't possibly get all that. You can't teach marketing and branding and sales and accounting and legal and workflows all at one event. And you can't, Eric Trump has never done a 90-minute Q&A. You can't do a 90-minute Q&A with one guy. I'm like, oh, yes, we can. And so, Dave, we have to will that into success, not in like a human will. I just have to say, listen, God is the one who provides me the strength, the air in my lungs. And I'm going to say, I believe, and maybe I'm delusional, but I believe that God has called everybody watching this show to a level of success. I believe that God wants you to have some level of success. I don't know that number. I don't know that. I don't claim to be prophetic, but I think everybody watching this show, there's no one who's a mistake. And I know that God wants you to be successful. I know Proverbs 10:4 says God blesses the hand of the diligent and punishes the slacker. I know God wants every single person out there to become blessed if you're diligent. And so I believe there are no questions too small, no questions too big, no industry we can't tackle. And that's why we have this whiteboard. And Dave, you've seen everybody gets to ask any questions they want. We do 30 minutes of teaching, and then we do 15 minutes of Q&A. And we do this every hour, 30 minutes of teaching, 15 minutes of Q&A, 30 minutes of teaching, 15 minutes of Q&A. And then we take a quick 15-minute break, and we just keep doing that cycle, Dave, for 2 consecutive days. Dave, again, I've attended a lot of workshops. I've spoken at a lot of workshops before launching my own 20 years ago. How would you compare the energy of the thrivetimeshow.com workshops, or the pace, or the amount of stuff we get in, versus that of maybe a different workshop or corporate event you've been to?
Yeah, it's not even close. I mean, at events, even with the Zig Ziglars of the world, they'll give you a nice motivational speech, but there's not that, how do you take it from A to Z? How do you manage that process? And then, like you just said, you allow questions to come in, so you get real life testimonies of struggles with other people, and success leaves clues, and we learn from those successes. It's truly second to none.
You know, we've got a guy who's coming to the workshop. He's from La Jolla, California. So he's out there on the coast of San Diego, out on the ocean in California. And this guy has almost doubled the amount of leads he's getting in just 6 months working with my team. He's a massive pest control company, and he's almost doubled revenue in 6 months. We've got a guy attending the conference who's a billionaire. And he'll probably be sitting in the back. He typically wears a hat, wears it down low, he doesn't run around saying, I'm a billionaire, but he is. And you have this audience of people that are all focused on how can we achieve success so that we can give more, sow more seeds into ministries, because money is just a magnifier. It just makes you more of who you are. So if you're out there watching today's show and you want to get unstuck, I'm telling you, go to thrivetimeshow.com. Move number 4, action step number 4, quotable coming in hot from Napoleon Hill. He says, the habit of drifting is a form of hypnotic rhythm, which finally becomes the permanent, and it fixes the characteristics of nature and the life habits of those who submit to it. What does he say? The habit of drifting is a hypnotic rhythm. Let me give you an example. I was an idiot back in the day. I did some jackassery. And I'll never forget my wife. We're having our first baby, and I'm like 23, 24. We have 5 kids now. This is pre-Christ in my life. And Dr. Thompson walks in. And I'm ashamed to share the story, but it's true. He walks into the room where my wife's going to give birth here soon, and I'm watching rap videos. And he's like, what are you doing? And I'm going, I'm doing my research. He's like, research? Because remember, I was a disc jockey. I built one of America's largest entertainment companies. So I'm watching videos, and I'm taking notes of the beats per minute on the songs, because I'm thinking about the songs I'm going to mix in later that weekend at the wedding I'm doing, at the club I'm DJing. I'm thinking about, okay, well, this song fits with that, and this song fits, where songs have a similar beats per minute, and you can mix them together. So I'm in there, and he's like, are you literally, I'll never forget it. He's like, are you watching rap videos? I go, yeah. And I'll never forget it. It was Juvenile was the rapper that was big at the time, and Jermaine Dupri. And I remember watching, and he's like, you're watching Jermaine Dupri while your wife's about ready to give birth? I go, yeah. He actually used to be the drummer for Diana Ross before he became a hip hop producer. And he's like, what? And I'm going, yeah. And I'm trying to talk to him about rap and hip hop. And he's like, dude, this is come here. So the doctor pulls me aside. Almost, it was kind of like a verbal grab me by my shirt. And he's like, your wife's gonna have a baby, and you're on the phone working it like it's a call center while watching rap videos. Do you hate your marriage? Get it together, man. Come on. And I'm like, okay. So I walked back in. I'm like, hey, babe, turn off TV. So how are you? I just remember I am an idiot. And I'm just saying that because if you're watching this show, you might be in a hypnotic rhythm where you're doing, you don't even know what you're doing. Like, you don't even know how much being 20 minutes late to everything is costing you. You're watching this show right now, and Dave, I'll be vague about this, but there's a person in my life, our life, someone we know, and I am really, really trying to make a connection for this person. I'm like, you have to respond. There has to be some response here. And people just say, well, I don't check text messages. That could be costing you millions of dollars. There's somebody out there today, you don't keep a calendar. That's costing you money. Somebody out there today, your website is terrible. That's costing you money. Somebody, you do not know how to scale a company. You don't know how to manage people. What you don't know is hurting you. Yeah. Ignorance is not bliss. It is causing you to live in remember this idea. Ignorance is not bliss. It will cause your life to go into the bottomless abyss. Think about that for a second. Okay, so if you're watching today's show, I'm telling you, folks, you got to learn these principles. Principle number 5, the final thought I want to teach on today's show from Napoleon Hill. He says, the fear of poverty and criticism, ill health, loss of love, and old age, and death are the 6 basic fears which, again, think about this. He goes on to talk about how these 6 fears, so many people don't do anything because they're afraid of rejection. They're afraid they're too old. They're afraid of failure, poverty, whatever it is. And the Bible tells us 365 times not to give in to the spirit of fear, one for every day. So if you're watching today's show and you say, you know what? This is my year. I am not going to live a life where I'm shackled by the spirit of fear. I want to have massive success. If this is the year that you're going to turn your business idea into reality, I want you to go to thrivetimeshow.com, thrivetimeshow.com. Use promo code His Glory. You get a chance to win backstage passes. You get discounted tickets. Dave, we are going to have a blasty blast in Tulsa, Jerusalem. That's September 25, 26. Dave, I could not be more fired up.
That's right. We're going to see you in a couple days, and people, get there if you can. We'd love to see you, but this is the most important thing you can do to start your business, take your business to the next level. He takes it from A to Z. You do not want to miss this. Trust me. Go into shalom.
In a second was an everlasting friendship between Clay and I, because I'm telling you, there's not too many people in the world that have this man's backbone and his tenaciousness and his perseverance. And so, buddy, I love you. And to General Flynn, thank you. You guys are incredible. You guys are incredible warriors. You guys are incredible, incredible warriors. So thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
4,000% from February to February. Now I can better that. Okay, Clay, I don't think you know this. I don't think you know this. I'm pinching myself, and if I cry, forgive me. In the last 2.5 days, we have bettered our entire month of February in the last 2.5 days. So, and the phone's blowing up. Everything's just blowing up. You're right. It is like a rocket ship. So we're pinching ourselves, actually.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
But I recognized at the age of 15, I'm going, you know what? I am not going to live that way. And so I started a company out of my parents' basement called djconnection.com. And I decided I am going to have success. And so I reached out to millionaires and people that I kind of knew through church and friendships and parents of my friends. And I said, what book would you recommend that I read? I'm a 15-year-old asking this question. True story. And I kept being told, you got to read.
Hello, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Radio Show. It's an exciting time. Also, I think a treacherous time, a spooky time also. But it's always, danger is a good time. Today, my guest is Clay Clark, and I went out with Tom Wheelwright to visit Clay with Eric Trump also. And the reason I want to talk to Clay this morning is a very important subject called study. And the reason I say that is things are changing so fast, and many people are completely missing the show. Things are changing at rapid speed. Technology is changing. And so I went to Tulsa, well, again, with Tom Wheelwright and Eric Trump. And the thing I was so impressed about Clay is this word called study. I don't know, you guys must be in your water or something, Clay, but boy, I was so impressed how big you guys are. But what really impressed me was you have this huge congregation. They're all about guys your age. They're on fire. And you start your classes at 5 in the morning. Now, let me talk to you about study here. We show our books here. Now, this is how I study. You know, this is the creature from Jekyll Island. It's on the Fed. And Clay's doing the same thing. We study. So I go out to Clay's place in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's built this huge compound out there. And you guys start at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's not by Zoom. They drive there. They show up 5 o'clock, bright-haired, bushy-tailed, and all this. And they're on fire. Your group is on fire. So that's what was on Clay, this technology. You tell your group, I was so impressed. Because, like I said, studies became a bad word. I got into fights in my own company because our staff didn't want to study anymore. And I don't know how they cannot do that. So Clay, anyway, welcome to the Rich Dad Radio Show. That's what I want to talk to you about is how do you do it? 5 o'clock in the morning, you have hundreds of people showing up in your huge auditorium on your property to study. Anyway, welcome to the show, Clay. And what turns you on so much? That's what I want to know. Give us a little about your background.
My name is Karime Schofield, and the name of our company is Whistle While You Clean.
I am Sophia Schofield.
We live in Cincinnati, Ohio, and we service the tri-state, so Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana.
We were getting a phone call, and we were like, why is someone calling our business line? That's unusual, and we picked it up, and it was a lead.
I mean, it's been incredible, Clay. We've gone from 0 to like 100% growth. Like we're like a full functioning company. It's great. Like we're blown away at how well we're doing. So working with you guys have really taught us a lot about generating leads and pursuing our Dream 100. So we have a list of customers that we want to market to. And so we've been making phone calls, we've been showing up in person. We're trying to get near the businesses that they would visit if they were visiting like a hair salon or something. And then we start calling them and we just start pursuing them. And then the other thing that we do is when we do cleans, we take a lot of video testimonials and we post those to our website so other customers can see. And then we also upload a lot of images of the things that we do. And so we're also asking our clients for Google reviews after we've cleaned their houses. And so it's this constant like cycle of doing those things over and over and over again. I would say if you're on the fence, go to one of Clay's conferences. They are hilarious. They're fun. They're educational. They're so good that even my teenagers like them. And I would say don't let fear hold you back. If you want to start a business, do the obvious thing and hire someone who knows how to run businesses. If I wanted to get in shape, I'd hire a gym person, a personal trainer. This is like the personal training for business. It has been absolutely amazing. I mean, our coach is encouraging. When he first met with us, he said, do we want him to be like a drill sergeant with us? What level of intensity do we want him to give us? And I will say he is incredibly encouraging all the time. And he just hits the same mark with us every single time. It's very repetitive. But I think we both really learn a lot every time we sit down and have a conversation with him over the phone. He keeps pushing us to go further, and he can recognize when we're afraid to do something and he'll give us a little bit of grace, but that next week he's drilling us again, like pushing us to go harder. Our no-brainer offer is we are offering your first clean for $1. And that sounds absolutely insane. It even sounded insane when I was talking over it with our business coach. And I will tell you that has generated some of our hugest clients. I mean, that has been like a game changer because it opened up the door to more clients, more recommendations, more leads. And we were surprised how far that Dollar Clean got us.
How important has it been for you to work out that scripting, even though you offer $1 for the first clean? How important has it been for you to nail that down?
It's been really important because it kind of it hones in so that you're not just all over the place when you're trying to explain what it is that you do. And a lot of times it's like you're a good person offering a good product and you have integrity and you want to communicate that. But when you go to communicate without a script or without practice, it's just like a mess coming out of your mouth, as opposed to having this, honed in practice where you know what you're going to say, you know how you're going to say it, and you can almost expect better results when you do it that way.
Had you ever been an entrepreneur before starting this particular business?
No, never.
Did you ever think about wanting to own your own business someday? Or what was the first time you thought, maybe I would like to open my own business?
Absolutely. I've probably been dreaming about it for about 10 years.
Okay, and let me go to your daughter here. Had you ever thought about wanting to team up and open your own business, or was that something that you were maybe excited about, or not so much?
Well, for me, my parents would always listen to your podcast and business podcast. And as I started listening to them, I started realizing that I wanted to own a business.
It's www.whistlewhileyouclean.com. Honestly, the hardest thing was getting over the fear. It was the fear of the unknown. There was like a cloud of doubt that, you can't do this, you're going to fail. There was a few sleepless nights there when we did pull the trigger and join your team and start the coaching process. Even my husband put a little bit of pressure on me from time to time because it was just absolutely scary to take that jump and actually start a business.
Whoa.